What's up guys, Stark here. In today's character spotlight we are taking a look at Phantom of the Opera. And no, I'm not talking about the Broadway musical, I am talking about the character. Although the musical is pretty good. If you're ever in New York or anywhere else that plays it, you know, go ahead and check it out. It's pretty good. Anyway, we're not talking about that, we're talking about the character. And he's got some pretty cool artwork, but it's really bizarre. I'm not exactly sure what's going on in it. But it does look pretty cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at his stats. So he's an assassin, so he will be effective against riders and weak to casters, and he is a 2-star as well. So he will go up to level 65, and he will have 5,654 attack, and he will have 8,393 HP. And then if you grail him out, he has 10,193 attack and 14,112 HP, which is pretty good stats if you ask me. And you know, I've seen this character used in like Merlin waiver teams, and it does some pretty good work. So maybe you want to think about grailing this character if you have waiver and then you get Merlin later on. I don't know if you really need him. I've just seen videos of the three of them like just steamrolling content, and it's pretty cool. So I've kind of been leveling up my Phantom of the Opera just in case I pull Merlin sometime in the future. Really saving up for him. But yeah, he's a pretty good servant. So let's just go ahead and talk about his skills. His first skill is going to be called Innocent Monster D, which will allow him to gain critical stars every turn for 3 turns, and it will decrease his defense for 3 turns. So this is a self buff, and you get 3 stars at level 1, and you get 9 stars at level 10, which is not amazing, but it's definitely not bad. And then his second skill is going to be called Siren Song B, which has a high chance to inflict charm on the opposite gender for 1 turn. And this is a 60% chance at level 1 and a 90% chance at level 10. And he is a male servant, so you will be effective against female servants. And there are a lot of female servants in the game, so you'll probably see more use out of this one than a female to male charm. And then for his third and final skill is going to be the Mental Corruption A skill, which will increase his mental debuff rate for 3 turns, and will greatly increase his mental debuff resistance for 3 turns as well. So this is pretty cool. It gives him a better chance of doing the debuffs, and then it has a better chance of resisting the debuffs as well, which is always really nice. The percentages aren't really that great though. 5% at level 1 for the first part, and then 25 at level 10, and then 50% for the resistance, and then 100% at level 10 for the resistance, which is pretty good, but it does start off only at 50%, which kind of sucks. So now for his class skills, his first class skill and his only class skill is going to be called Presence Concealment A, which will increase critical star drop rate by 10%, which is pretty nice because he is a quick character, so the crits and all that stuff is going to be a pretty big part of his character skill set. Moving on here to his Ascension Materials, he needs quite a lot, honestly. He needs lanterns for his second, and he needs gears, and, yeah, shit. So now let's take a look at his Ascension Materials. He needs the lanterns for his second Ascension, and then he needs gears for the third and fourth, as well as some bones. Honestly, it's not that much, but the gears do make it a little bit difficult at this point in time to level him up. But again, I say it in every video, once we get the gears available, then it should be no issues with max ascending this character. It's just a matter of time before we get them. Moving on here to his skill enhancement materials, he needs not a whole lot, honestly. He needs some lanterns and some demon hearts, and that's basically it. He does need a lot of bones. He needs 36 bones, but bones aren't really that difficult to get. So yeah, he doesn't need a whole lot to max out his skills, so it's pretty nice, maybe something worth considering. But moving on here to his craft essence, it's going to unlock the Impure Death Mask, and while equipped it will increase quick card effectiveness of all allies by 15% while in the field. So it is one of those generic quick craft essences, and I'm not going to waste too much time talking about it. So moving on here to his command cards and his Noble Phantasm, he does have 3 quick, 1 arts, 1 buster command card. So primarily you want to use him in a quick team, but you can also use him in an arts team, and this is kind of where he plays into the Merlin waiver combo, because his Noble Phantasm is arts, and he does have that 1 extra arts card as well. So it's still pretty solid chances of getting arts and making a full arts setup to keep the Noble Phantasms rolling. And what his Noble Phantasm actually does is it'll deal heavy damage to all enemies that ignores defense, and then on the overcharge it will decrease debuff resistant rate for 3 turns. So this is really nice because it ignores defense, so you can just go through and do as much damage as possible. The percentage isn't that much, it's only 750%, but it does have a interlude quest to power it up, and that'll go up to 900%, and then a 100% decreased debuff resistant rate. So that's really nice, and then it also increases that to 6 turns, so you're going to have 6 turns of that, and it's just a really nice support skill that does some pretty solid damage, and he is a 2-star, so you can't expect too much, but it is really nice. So now some of the craft essences you can use on this guy. You can use Kaleidoscope for the maximum special, but then you could also go ahead and use the quick cards, so you can use Grander for the 15% increase, or you can use Imaginary Round for the 25% increase. Or you could even go ahead and use some of the arts cards, so you could use Projection for the 15% increase, or you could use Formal Craft for the 25% increase. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video here for Phantom of the Opera. I will leave you guys here with his Noble Phantasm, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
歌え歌え我が天使クリスティーンクリスティーン